and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you and I'm really excited about this one. So I decided that I wanted to build a werewolf movie theater. And back when I did the item review for this pack, I saw that the two chairs that we got, the more living room chairs, they reminded me of movie theaters. So that's kind of where this came from. And I've never built a movie theater before in The Sims. And obviously it's not super functional like a movie theater, but it is a place where you can gather a bunch of Sims and watch a giant TV together. So it kind of has that purpose. It just doesn't actually function, you don't buy tickets and things like that. But I was so excited about this, and I built this in the Moonwood Mill world, and it's on the Prowler's Patch lot, and I did it as a retail lot. So it's really generic, and the only requirement was that I had a cash register, which I knew I wanted to put in there anyways because I was going to have a concession stand inside of it. So this is actually a pretty big build. It took me a little while to do and kind of trying to make some decisions about it, but I wanted it to kind of match the rest of the world and the packet that is kind of meant to go with. So it's a pretty rundown build, but it has everything you need. So there's one giant theater. You can see kind of the room on the left, and I made it a double decker so you can see into the next floor. So it's really large. And then on the right side, I have a concession area as well as the bathroom. And then upstairs, I actually put this really cool hangout, game room place. So I thought it'd be a really cool place for your werewolves to go hang out. And I kind of wanted to use those werewolf doors, but the problem is I'm pretty sure, at least based on the description, it sounds like only werewolves can go through it, and I didn't want it to be necessarily restricted to werewolves. So I used a lot of the stuff from the packs, but it is not restricted just to werewolves, if that makes sense. And so I do end up actually spending a lot of time on the exterior. I feel like maybe the exterior took me longer than the interior of the build, actually. I think it's because of all the details I added, bags of trash, overgrown vegetation, stuff like that. And I even included a parking lot here with a broken down car. Again, something that we kind of got with this pack, but I just really wanted to use. And then in this build, as kind of expected, there's not a ton of windows because, it is a movie theater and it's supposed to be dark. But I do kind of just put a few here in the front because I actually end up having a little hallway that kind of goes to the big theater. So that's what those windows on the left are for. And then I'm just kind of putting everything a little bit askew, a little bit haphazardly around. I included a dumpster area, and of course, so then you could go dumpster diving, things like that. And then of course, plenty of trash cans everywhere. We, don't like littering, although there is trash everywhere. And I just kind of went into debug and I ended up pulling a lot of stuff out of there, trash bags, trash, different plants. I even got out just a bunch of plants from all over the place. I even found these dead looking plants, this gate. I thought it would be cool to have kind of a gated parking lot. And I left a little bit of space so your Sims can walk into the lot, but it kind of looks like the parking lot is blocked off, which I actually really liked the look of. And then you can see I added already a little bit of trash, but I feel like I'm going through debug. The reason I even went into debug to begin with was to look for cars. And I wish we had more kind of rundown or rusty cars. I didn't see any while I was in debugs, but I could have totally missed it because there is a lot of stuff in there if you've never used it before. And as I was in there, I started just pulling out just a lot of stuff, that kind of stone fencing that looked like it was broken, maybe it was part of the foundation and it is gone now. I think I included a piece of wire fencing as well, and a bunch of trash items over there by the dumpster. And then it just, kind of layering all of these pieces, which was kind of fun. And I do like cluttering builds, so this was good for me. It took me a little while, but totally worth it. And you can see I'm about to pull out a ton of different cars and just place them there. Don't worry, I do organize them and narrow it down to only 2. But There's just a lot to choose from, so I pulled them all out, and you can't really like search debug, so I had to go ahead and grab what I could when I saw it, if that makes sense. And I even looked at the like toy cars that we have for kids to see if I could size any of those up, but honestly those didn't really speak to me either. So I think we ended up keeping one of the small cars in a truck. In the end, you can see me kind of deleting like, okay, which ones don't I like, which ones do I want to keep, and trying to decide. So there's not a ton of parking, but of course I think like there's a limit, like without cheats and stuff, to like 20 Sims on a lot. So there's actually a ton of seating in the movie theater. And when we get in there, what happened is that I actually used from like the movie hangout stuff pack. I believe that's the one it came from. There's like a giant like screen with speakers and everything, and I wanted to use it, and as it was, it felt like a little small, so I had to size it up one. But in doing so, I had to make sure it actually fit in the theater. So this ended up being a pretty large theater, and it has like, I think 40 chairs, which is very excessive, but plenty of room, social distancing. I mean, whatever, your Sims can like, you know, go wherever they want. Of course, if you use mods and cheats and things, you can have more Sims than that on a lot. I've seen people do all kinds of crazy things where they put like 100 Sims on a lot just to see what happens. But I think this worked out really well. And that sign that's actually up there right now, like the arrow thing, that ends up going inside, kind of leading up to the game room. And it took me a little while to decide exactly what I wanted the signage on this build to look like. So like, do we have a billboard? Do we have like just like a logo sign? You know, what is it that I wanted out here? So you can see me kind of pulling out all of the options so that I can see what I have. And I tend to do that a lot. And I think it's helpful if you don't exactly know what you're going for, just pulling out everything you think might work. And I also then just, I mean, crazy thought, I just typed in movie into the search bar to see what I would get, and I found this like movie poster, and I thought it was kind of ironic to use what looks like a vampire movie on the big poster, since, you know, there's a rivalry between the werewolves and vampires, so I thought that that would be kind of funny. And then there was this like movie bench. I've never used that item before in my life, but it has a bunch of like different logos on the back of it, so I thought that was really cool. So another way to like advertise. And I did try to put a lot of cracks and scratches and things, and I actually used some stuff from the vampire pack in order to make it look a little more rundown, and then just some like water spots, you know, stuff like that, just to look like it's been here for a while. And I like the fact that there's actually a community board outside of this lot, so it kind of does look like a community space. And of course you can download this off the gallery and use it however you would like to. It is already on the gallery under my ID Spice and Sprinkles, all one word, all lowercase, and it is down in the description if you would like to see it kind of spelled out. I don't put a ton of stuff on the back of the lot. I do put that like tunnel to underground for werewolves, and then like that weird bonfire pile of old furniture, and then it kind of looked like graffiti to me on the back with the werewolf stuff. So, and when I got inside, because I'd used platforms inside the actual movie theater area, because from my understanding they should be able to step down from one to the other if there's only like one difference, which there is, so you should be good to go. That it kind of messed up the leveling on the rest of it. I thought this all would have been like one floor, but anyways, I ended up having to put a little extra staircase in there, which is not that big of a deal. And then that's a little hallway I was kind of talking about earlier, and that's where the windows are going to end up. And again, that hallway is like a 2-story like open space. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but the game room that is going to be above concessions is also kind of like a lofted area. And personally, this is actually like what my movie theater growing up was like. Like they had concessions, and then they had a staircase that actually went up above, and it had like a bunch of like vending machines and arcade games and stuff like that. I never really used it, but I knew it was there, so that's kind of what I was channeling when I built this, just kind of some of my experience. And this is me trying to size it up, and you see it's just a little bit too big, and I couldn't at the time come up with a cute way of trying to cover up the extra stuff that stuck out of the walls. So then I just decided I'll make it one space bigger, which then kind of changed how I ended up laying out all of the chairs. And so I changed that a couple times, but we figured it out. We got there in the end, and I think it looks really cool. And I did end up using the chairs from the werewolf pack, and that was me trying to kind of decide which one I actually wanted to use. So this was me laying them out, and then it felt weird them being farther apart. So I ended up scooting them together because, you know, like in movie theaters, I feel like you always end up sharing that cup holder. And that's kind of what I wanted to imitate here. And so I had these rows, but then because I ended up making it like a weird number of tiles because I made it a slot bigger, I ended up just having to kind of rearrange how I did it because it just kind of looked weird when I did it this way, because I wanted to put like railing, but then like it just didn't like add up well, if that makes sense. It just looked weird. So I ended up having to arrange things a little bit differently. And yes, I ended up like alt placing all 40 of these chairs so they overlap, but it wasn't actually too bad to actually line them up, and I think it looks really good, and I think it would be really awesome to have a bunch of Sims hanging out here. And I actually, for the screenshots, I did bring a werewolf family here. I just downloaded them off the gallery. They're an adorable family, and it was from the creator B Positive, and the B, there's no E, and there's, instead of an E at the end, it's a 3. Anyways, I'll put that down in the description if you wanted to look them up and find the family, because I thought they were so cute. And it was funny, while I was trying to take screenshots, they kept getting so mad. They kept like wanting to turn into werewolves, and I'm like, I don't want you to destroy it right now. And also, since you can't like control werewolves, at least at the beginning, I don't believe, like telling them what to do, I was trying to stage them, and if they became werewolves, like I can't, you know, do that. So I left them as like just their normal sim form in order to do this. And then I had thought about putting in like a rug down the aisle, but it just didn't like look quite right. And then I wanted to put up, you know, I feel like in movie theaters a lot of times there's either fabric on the walls, you know, for noise and everything, or just like it just looks really regal to have the curtains. And so I ended up just using the curtains, and I can't remember, I believe those are dine out curtains. Obviously aren't necessary, but like I thought it had a really nice look to it. And like I said, that one is a 2-story. I don't have a lot of lights in there because I feel like it's supposed to be kind of dim since it is a movie theater, but we have those lights along the sides and then just like one singular light above. And this is me just trying to figure out where I wanted to put in the bathroom so that it wasn't like overlapping with the loft upstairs that I was creating. And then I was trying to do all these kind of weird things with the stairs, but in the end, I just ended up just doing like nothing weird to them and just leaving them as is. So I brought in that light inside, and I just thought that was kind of cute. I wish I could like twist it to where the arrow actually faced up the stairs, but I couldn't do that. You probably could do that with the mod like tool, but I don't have that. So it just looks kind of like it's pointing the wrong way, but you get the picture. And then just putting in this bathroom over here. I use the stalls from university. Of course, if you don't have university, you can always just put up some walls and toilets, and then that'll work just fine. And then I don't have like 2 bathrooms, I just have this one. And I actually thought it was interesting when I was trying to find a door. We have like bathroom doors, but they always have just like either like the traditional like male or female like logo on there. There wasn't like a unisex one. I don't think I found one anyways. So we just have the bathroom door, and we just know it's the bathroom. And then I pulled the paper towel, and like, I think that's technically hand sanitizer, but we're gonna pretend it's hand soap for the bathroom since it's kind of this like commercial looking space. And I kind of wanted it again to be a little run down, and just using the mirror that actually came with the werewolf pack. And again, it's built in like destruction already there, so that was kind of nice, just adding again some like messed up wall features. And then for this concession area, I was back and forth a little bit exactly about how I wanted to actually form it, but I do end up just kind of having a line of counters in the back. And I used the like kind of rundown looking counters, the used ones. I don't know what they're called, but they're base game. And then I do end up taking out those tall cabinets and putting in like those drink machine things that came, I think it was with Dine Out. I feel like a decent bit of Dine Out here, just because I guess it makes sense that we're having some sort of food here. And then I just put in some sinks because I just felt like that would be thematic, and then just putting like this concession kind of logo on the wall. And then we do end up shuffling things around just a little bit because I wanted to make like a gate to get back there, you know what I mean? Like employees only kind of situation. So I ended up having to kind of move it over and put that gate on it, but I think that it does look nice in the end, although it just took me a minute to get there. And then we end up actually adding in an espresso machine and they're the vending machine. Like, they're not vending machines technically, I don't think, but just like those drink cabinets. And then just adding in like an espresso machine. And then, oh my goodness, I'm now realizing that I wanted to put the popcorn machines there, and I put ice cream makers. I guess the Sims and the werewolves like ice cream instead of popcorn. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. You can easily swap that out or put something different or leave it as ice cream, to be honest. I feel like if you've ever used an ice cream machine on like your lots, they just like use them constantly. That's all they will eat. I just think it's kind of funny. And then adding in like that chalkboard, and then some like jars of what looks like candy, things like that, just bits and bobs around. And then I added a little bit of railing to kind of separate like the different registers. And I used it's that menu from Dine Out, but if you actually just kind of like clip it into the cabinet, it kind of looks like it's a little menu sitting there, like maybe with prices. So I thought that was really cute. And then I just kind of added a rug to this like main lobby area. I don't put a ton in there because I'm thinking like you have Sims there like all over the place, and if it's like a packed movie theater, like it doesn't really need much there. I do end up putting like 2 benches underneath the windows out there, but that's kind of about it. And then just putting some vending machines down there, which I guess realistically like would be kind of weird for a movie theater to do. Like, because maybe you would just do that instead of going to concessions, but I guess they would make the money either way, right? So I feel like that would work. I don't know. I'm totally overthinking that since it's just The Sims. But again, I put some of those like movie theater benches in there because I just thought that would make a lot of sense. And then I actually love, love, love this loft up here. I think it looks so cool. And I just wanted it to be this really awesome hangout. So we have this like couch situation. And it was kind of hard to find a coffee table that worked because like I wanted it to be kind of like run down looking, but like everything looks really pristine that we have in the game. And so I'm just pulling out like some video games, ping pong, foosball, like I even put a TV on the wall over there and a jukebox. So just like a really cool place to hang out. It took me a minute to figure out exactly how I wanted to put stuff. Oh, and yeah, I put the Don't Wake the Llama table here too. So lots of fun activities for like the whole entire family to do, listen to music or whatever. And I do end up putting some like neon lights. That's what I'm trying to think of right now. A lot of neon signs on the walls because I thought that looked really cool. And I don't think I've ever seen that weird looking chicken logo thing that I put over there in the seating area, but you know what? I think it works really well there and looks really trendy and cool. So there it is. You have I believe that's like a rooster or something on the wall. And then I think that really like this, I feel like it's hard to find lots where you can bring your whole family, your Sims family, but I think this would work really well. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more like it. And let me know down in the comments if you have any more build suggestions. So I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.